Okay, friends. So now this time we find that there are 16 questions from history, and almost all questions are doable. So at least 12 or 13 questions, or you can say 14 questions are directly from old NCERT and new NCERT. And for 16 years of my teaching experience, I have been continuously telling my students that if you want to go into government services, you should read government books. So therefore, like you see in this time, that almost all questions are from old NCERT, new NCERT, and some questions are from IGNOU materials also, IGNOU BA materials also. So when we talk about the 16 question, 3 questions are there from medieval history, 6 questions are there from ancient history, and 7 questions are there from modern history. So UPSC has created a very good balance among all 3, you can say, sections of history this time. So when we talk about the, you see the first question, it's about Raja Ram Mohan Rai. You know, Raja Ram Mohan Rai was the pioneer of socio-religious reform movement. And so there are 2 statements related to, you can say, his, you can say, perceptions or his theme. So about the Raja Ram Mohan Rai, the first statement, he possessed the great love and respect for the traditional philosophical system of the East. So you know that Raja Ram Mohan Rai, we say that he was a confluence between the East and West. It means that the best of the East and the best of the West, he tried to merge together. So in that sense, we find that he was having very much focus on Vedanta, means you can say the Upanishadaj philosophy, and that's why you see that he was saying that we should take the positive aspects of our, you can say, Indian culture, Indian philosophy. So this statement is correct one. Now, second statement, he desired his countrymen to accept the rational and scientific approach also. So he said that the positive aspects of enlightenment and Renaissance, which are there in the Western, you can say, world at that point of time, because you know that 14th and to 16th centuries or 16th to 18th centuries were the centuries of Renaissance and Enlightenment. So we find that he was also trying to have focus on those positive aspects of Western world, and so he was trying to basically make a confluence between the Eastern and Western philosophies. That's why this statement is also correct. So answer would be C, means the first and second both statements are correct. Now, when we talk about this, the second question, you see, consider the following subject with regard to non-cooperation program. The first statement is boycott of law courts and foreign courts. So this is correct statement, because you see that the non-cooperation movement was having 2 types of programs. You can say Swaraj program, or you can say Swadeshi programs or boycott programs. It means that basically he was focusing on the boycott, Gandhi especially, who led the movement. So the people were focusing on, the leaders were focusing on the boycott program. So under that, the law courts and the foreign courts were to be boycotted. And the second is observance of a strict non-violence. Now, this is a bit confusing for the new students who are not doing NCERT thoroughly. So you know that Gandhi was the champion of non-violence in international politics. So this is also correct, because he was having a very great focus on non-violence. So the observance of strict non-violence, this is also correct. And then the third statement, retention of titles and honors without using them in public, this is a wrong statement. The fourth statement, that establishment of panchayat for settling disputes, so this is also correct one. So under the constructive programs, this was a very important ingredient. So we find that among these 4 statements, the third statement is incorrect. So 1, 2, and 3 means C would be the answer. Now this question, it is also there in NCERT in different you can say paragraphs, but in IGNOU, when you go with the IGNOU material, in a very particular you can say paragraph, all these programs of non-cooperation movement are there. So therefore, the 3 statements are correct and 1 statement is wrong. So the answer would be C. Now the next question is the irrigation device called Arghata was. So this question has been basically repeated by UPSC, and in even state PCS questions they have asked many times this question. So the answer would be basically the second one, it's a large wheel with adhan pods tied to the outer ends of its spokes. Because arghata, literal meaning of arghata is basically spoke pods. So the answer would be B for this question. When we go for the next question, we find that who among the following rulers in ancient India had assumed the titles Matvilasa, Vichitra Chita, and you can say Gunvara. So you find that this question is related to you can say Pallava dynasty king, and the answer would be Mahendravarman first. You know that after the, you can say, Sangama period, you can say, we find that the Pallava and Chalukya conflict was there in South Indian history, and so Mahendravarman first, Mahendravarman second, Narsimhavarman first, Narsimhavarman second, they were great, you can say, Pallava dynasty kings, and so Mahendravarman took the titles of Matvilasa, Vichitrachit, and Gunvara. Now here Matvilasa, this was a very important, you can say, satire written on the Saivites sect, that's Kapalik sect. So this is a kind of satire, and he also took the title of Matvilasa, and he also wrote a satire named by Matvilasa. So you find that A would be the natural choice, and this is very much there in the new NCERT as well. When we talk about, you can say another question, who among the following rulers in ancient India had assumed the, we have already done this. So Matvilasa, Vichitrachit, and Gunvara, that title was or were taken by Mahendravarman first. Now next question, who among the following led a successful military campaign against the kingdom of Sri Vijaya, the powerful maritime state which ruled the Malay Peninsula, Sumatra, and Java? So we find that the answer is very simple. It's Rajendra first. You know, Raj first and Rajendra first. They were great Chola rulers, and if so, that in entire ancient history, we find that only Cholas were having some kind of sense of imperialism. So for sometimes they ruled Sri Lanka, and also they had some, you can say, maritime, you can say they fought the war or campaign for, you can say, the Malay Peninsula with Sumatra and Java, so that the trade would be basically facilitated with China. So Rajendra first is very, you can say, this is a very simple question, and this is very much there in old NCERT as well as new NCERT. So this is a bit good question, very simple question. Now next, with reference to ancient India, consider the following, you can say, pairs. So this is the territorial region and the rivers. So this question is related to, you see, Mahajanpades, and we know that, you see, in old NCERT and new NCERT, map is very much there, and so in the map, this different Mahajanpadas are there, and then the rivers are also located there. So if you have gone through this map, you will be finding that this question would be easily solved by you. So Asmak, it's Godavari river, is very true. And then you can say Kamboja Bipasa, it's you can say incorrect answer, because Kamboja is related to Kabul river. Avanti, it's Mahanadi, it's also wrong. Avanti is you can say nearby Narmada river, and so Kosala Saryu, this is the correct one. So option 1 and option 4, they are correct one, and so we find that B for Bombay would be the answer, because first and fourth option are correct. And this is very much there in you can say in new NCERT and old NCERT maps. So we must understand that the maps are to be studied very thoroughly, because every year UPSC asks some question based on maps. So at least the maps which are there in NCERT, you have to go through that. And so the answer would be for this question would be B for Bombay. And you know that in Mahajanpadej we are having 3 important books like Anguttar Nikay, Mahavastu, and Bhagavati Sutra. So they are the Buddhist and Jaina, you can say, Anguttar Nikay, Mahavastu, and Bhagavati Sutra. They are the Buddhist and Jain text which mention about the various Mahajanpada existing at that point of time. So it's a very easy question, but if you are good at doing map practice, then you would be easily solving this question. So this answer of this question would be B for Bombay. Now, when we talk about the next question, the first Gandharva Mahavidyalaya. So, this question is a bit kind of, question which is related to art and culture. And this question, or you can say this theme was actually mentioned in Hindu newspaper in, you can say, 2018. And in Wikipedia also, you can get this question. This question is not mentioned in new NCERT or old NCERT. So it's a kind of, you see, question which is related to art and culture. But in some guides which are there on art and culture, so you can get the answer of this question. So this is a Lahore, D for Delhi, first Gandharva Mahavidyalaya. So the D for Delhi would be the answer of this question. Now, when you talk about the next question, we find that Ashokan inscriptions suggest that the Pradeshika, Rajuka and Yukta, they are important officers at which level. So you know that in NCERT also the Mauryan administration is mentioned very well, and the IGNOU material also you see. So when we go through some IGNOU materials, you find that on the very first page of Mauryan administration, this has been mentioned very clearly. So they are district level administration. So Yukta, you can say the Pradeshika and Rajuka, they are the officers playing important role at district level administration. So the answer would be B for Bombay, which is very much mentioned in BA IGNOU material as well as in NCERT. You can get this. Now, next question is the three statements are there. You can say, or only two statements. So consider the following statement in respect to the non-cooperation movement. So the first statement, the Congress declared the attainment of Swaraj by all legitimate and peaceful means to be its objective. So we find that there are three objectives of non-cooperation movement. The first was to attain Swaraj. The second was to have justice for, you can say, the Caliph. And the third is justice for, you can say, the victims of Jallianwala Bagh massacre. So we find that the first statement is very much correct. The second is it was to be implemented with civil disobedience and non-payment of taxes for the next stage of Swaraj did not come within a year, and the government resorted the repression. So this statement is also correct. Now these two statements are very much mentioned in IGNOU books, and in different paragraphs you can get the two statements in old NCERT as well. So this, both statements are correct, and so the answer would be C of this question. So this non-cooperation movement, we find that there are two questions this time, and they are very much interlinked. So if your concept is clear, or even you can say if you solve one question, so easily the second question would be solved by you. So now this time two questions from non-cooperation movement they have asked, and they are there in IGNOU materials in one paragraph, and you see that they are also mentioned in different paragraphs of old NCERT. Now when we talk about the next question, sedition has become my religion was the famous statement given by Gandhi at the time of. Now this is very, very important, you can say, statement, though this is not mentioned you can say in NCERT, like the exact statement is not there. But if you have the understanding, you know that after the, you can say, suspension of non-cooperation movement, Gandhi was charged with sedition and he was put into jail. So at that point of time, basically, Gandhi said that I am very fortunate enough that I am being charged with the same, you can say, sedition charge which was there on Tilak. So you know that Tilak was also charged with the sedition in 97 and 1908. So therefore, this sedition charge was also, you can say, brought with Gandhi, and so this statement was basically given by Gandhi in 1922 generally, but again it was repeated by you see Gandhi at the time of, you can say, the you can say civil disobedience movement when he was breaking the salt laws. So the you can say the answer for this question would be B for Bombay. Now when we go for the next question, we find that the famous female figurine known as dancing girl found at Mohenjo-daro is made of? So very easy question, which is there in old NCERT as well as you can say new NCERT. So you see there's a you made of bronze. I know bronze is made of tin and copper, and so this is very, very famous, you can say, finding from Mohenjo-daro, and so easy question. So the answer would be C. Now next question is who provide legal defense of the people arrested in the aftermath of Chauri Chaura incident? So you know that due to the violence which took place at the time of Chauri Chaura, Gandhi suspended the movement, and when there was a, you can say, charge against people by the government, we find that these two great people, Madan Mohan Malviya and Krishna Pant, they came forward and basically they provided legal defense to the people arrested under this charge. So now this direct actually factual information is not there in NCERT, but if you do the you can say a bit kind of elimination, easily you would be getting the answer, because Madan Mohan Malviya is very much related to, you can say, Uttar Pradesh or Eastern UP area, Banaras, and he established BHU also, and so CR Des was in Bengal. So you can eliminate these topic, you can say these two options as well as these options, and this is also mentioned on, you can say, various pages in different books written on Madan Mohan Malviya. And if you go with the Mahamana Malviya mission website, it is mentioned also. So for this question, the answer would be B for Bombay, because legal defense to the people arrested in the aftermath of Chauri Chaura incident was provided by Madan Mohan Malviya and Krishna Pant. Now, when we talk about the next question, we find that the subsequent to the which one of the following events Gandhiji, who consistently opposed untouchability, appealed for its eradication from all the spheres, decided to include the upliftment of Harijans in his political and social program. So the option is a bit easier here. Now the Pune Pact, because you know Ambedkar and Gandhi, they both tried to uplift you can say the situation of untouchables, and this was the first, you can say, formal pact between Ambedkar and Gandhi, and so both of them, they contributed for the upliftment of untouchables. So here the obvious you can say choice is A. So this is the answer of this question. Now again consider the following fruits brought by or introduced in India by Portuguese. So we find that all these fruits, papaya, pineapple and guava, they were brought to India by Portuguese. So here you find that C would be the answer, because all three options given by UPSC are correct. Now when we talk about the next question, we find that who among the following was founder of self-respect movement? So it's also information based question, but very easy information, and so we find that the Periyar E. Ramaswamy Naik, like he was the founder of self-respect movement. So this is the answer of this question.